Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I was due in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can tell, I am back in Castle Ravenloft, and there is a lot of work left to be done. You know, I'm over here in the chapel area, I'm looking around, there should be an altar here. Should be a figure slumped over the altar for story purposes. How are we going to tell that story if the altar isn't built? We can't. You know, if I teleport over here real quick, look at this. We got, like, missing armor stands. Should be armor stands on this wall. How many armor stands do you see? Insufficient quantities. Whereas on this side, like, oh, dang it, that was supposed to be a cool, like, teleport and sweep thing. Not cool enough. But anyway, I'm doing my best to figure out everything that I still need to make this playable. Because I have a playtest scheduled with some of my Patreon fans this Friday, which is like 4 days from today. And half of these rooms are not even built. Over here in the dining room, we've got our dining room table in place, but we don't have an organ. How are you going to create a castle without an organ? That's like creating a human body without organs. Doctors will generally advise against it, but I'm no medical professional. I just know a little bit here and there. And what I know is that if I want to run my patrons through this castle, we have to have it at least functional, if not pretty. So, if we come over here, this spiral staircase, definitely not done. See, this is, undesirable from a functional standpoint. If I have to, for Friday, I'll just put in a ladder here to represent the spiral staircase, but I'd rather have this generally set up the way it's supposed to be set up so that we can, you know, actually play it the way the hermits will play it. There's a lot more to look at upstairs, though, so why don't we run up there now? As we emerge onto the second floor, we see that we have plenty to do here. Where our stained glass window should be, we have a sign that says "Be Right Back" from one of my live streams. We have no throne where the throne room should be. The throne room is here at least. From a functional standpoint, we just need to put in a few chairs. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let me pull up a quick thing and see what else is supposed to be in this throne room. This is the audience hall, technically, and it's described as an immense room of chilly, brooding darkness. So the nice thing about that is it doesn't have to be full of equipment and, like, furniture and stuff. It can just feel intimidating and have chairs. So for room K25 audience hall, to get this done, we're just going to say 2 chairs. Good enough for me. Also, we do want the window. I don't want people thinking that no window there. It's supposed to be a broken window, but we need like shards of glass in there at least. So that'll be doable to make this space functional. We'll also want to raise these walls up high enough that it's clear like where the actual, you know, doors are. We don't have to have the ceilings perfect, but we do need to have this playable. There should be some office space back here. I'm going to have to do some layout work on that. And yeah, this whole tower is still empty. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to lay out all the rooms in this tower still. That is going on my list. Tower layout. I'm hoping to just kind of, in the first half of this episode, talk about some of the things that need to be done. And then I'll work on this off camera tonight while my daughter's trying to fall asleep. I like to sit outside her room on my laptop, so she, like, knows that I'm nearby and it doesn't, you know, get worried about stuff. But I can also, like, be efficient. I can't be recording and talking because she will notice that, but I can sit there and do some work on these spaces. This whole roof up here, though, definitely going to need some work. And some sort of enclosure over the chapel here. And getting a functional connector in for this wall here is going to be crucial as well. Let's see what else we can do on the third floor. So the interesting thing about the third floor of this castle is it's basically a mansion built on top of a castle. All the castle downstairs space is like working space for the kingdom, but the third floor is kind of like the east wing residential area of the White House. It's a mansion for the king to live in. And so these stairs are completely broken and not functional right now, but once I get them in, you would kind of come down this hallway with armor. And I think we're going to write down that we need 10 sets of armor for that. And we are going to then, we would turn and we would enter the king's study. And the king's study would have a ton of bookshelves, that sort of thing. If you turn right, it would lead you to the king's bedroom. The king's bath chamber would be here. And then we have the king's closet. And the closet would be full of, like, suits and capes and stuff. So we need to fill that with clothes. On the whole, the third floor is actually pretty reasonably well done because it is not anywhere near as sophisticated as the first 2 floors. Like, the castle's footprint doesn't extend all the way to the chapel area there. So we're not in bad shape on this functionally. I think just to get people to run through the game, I need to get every spiral staircase either started or turned into some sort of system of ladders with platforms. I need to get all of the space inside of this biggest tower here. Let's just teleport up there real quick. Like, I have nothing built inside of this tower in terms of rooms. Same for this tower and this tower. So we need to figure out what levels the rooms are at, build basic layouts, put in some equipment, some walls, some furniture, that sort of thing. Then I think that this is playable. We don't need to have like the peaked roof on here to do a test game, but we do need to have the fundamentals in place. Man, I cannot get over how good this roof came together. Like, especially at night, this looks like a really creepy dark purple, which is awesome. So, super excited about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to work. Time skip! I don't know why I threw an ender pearl there. Also, that was like a really non-dramatic shot to, like, time skip out of. Like, a time skip's supposed to be awesome. Like, I'm going to plunge toward the ground. Time skip! And then before I hit, I'm going to land on the roof and not die. Boom. Red Sky Bay, the time skip way. With Joe Hills. Every day. But actually, yeah, time skip. Well, I've taken my time to gather some materials and to fashion a brand new diamond axe. Went down to the end, you know. You guys don't need to see me hitting Enderman for a while. That's not exciting. But I have gotten a little bit of work done around here. So I've got the first walls in and these big pillars. I decided to just go with 4 pillars instead of 5 on the dining room. And having chairs that were a different color wood than the table really helps pull the thing together. Now what I don't have here is a classy organ. And I'm going to have to get organized about that later. That's just not something I've had time to deal with yet. Meanwhile, over here, I've used my axe to make enough sticks to hew down all the trees I'll need for all the armor stands. So this is already functionally better, but not visually perfect. Also, like, I've got a bunch of little gaps all through the castle that I need to fill in like that. This roof here. Now, I came out here and I did start dropping some things around the chapel. So I got the dais in. I still need to build an altar and slump a figure over it. So, you know, I'm not exactly an expert at altar building, but, you know, boom, that looks like an altar to me. How are we going to slump a figure over it? I don't know. We'll come back with some carpet. That'll be decent enough. In the meantime, though, I started punching holes, too, in this wall to get the windows roughly sorted out, because there are going to be glass windows in here. I have to cook the glass. But once that's done, it should be relatively straightforward to actually get these in place, because they're not complicated shapes. They're just interesting arch things. And, you know, I'm not exactly an arch villain, but I know my way around some arches. I feel like this is well within my normal functional parameters to put in windows on the diagonals, and then couple those with, like, windows on the walls. And, you know, just get all these in place. Shouldn't be too hard. Now, was it 4 high and then 1 up? Yeah, I think that looks about right. Yeah. So these will be great in terms of actually giving a cool view of the outer walls and whatnot when people are in here. They're also supposed to be partially boarded up. So I think I'm going to use signs on some of the flat windows. Can't really do signs across a boarded up window, or can't really do signs against a diagonal window. But for like a window right here, that would be perfect, right? So we just put the glass in, break some of it, and then put signs across it. Now, if I wanted to have 4 windows on this back wall, like in the book, I think that's going to be a little difficult with the amount of time I have. Not time, space. Time and space are so confusing if you're not a Doctor Who fan. But I feel like just having these 2 arched windows here will roughly serve the purpose. So, this is already coming along way better than it was. So also, I've got some more armor stands in along here, and these little spaces. Once I put the armor in, I don't think that torch will be quite as obnoxious. You know, nor that torch, nor that torch. But, man, there's just so much left to do continuously. Spiral staircases everywhere. Broken pews, at least. I feel like broken benches on the ground in the altar, or in the chapel. On the altar. Boom. Looking pretty classy. Now, I do still need to run up there and add chairs for the king to sit and watch from. I think I'm just going to use spruce wood for, like, almost all the chairs in this entire building, because at this point, it's like, you know, they're functional chair blocks. Everybody looks at that and goes, that's a chair. So, unfortunately, having these chairs, like, right here is kind of awkward. I think that they were closer to the middle, though. Yeah, they'd be kind of more like this. I don't know how close to the edge they would be. They might be more like where this torch is and where this torch is. So, yeah, sitting up here, you could actually see. That's not crazy. Now, in addition, I am realizing, though, that some parts of the chapel I built a little bit too high. Like, these walls here, I'm actually going to have to carve down a little bit and have a sloped roof kind of come toward the center. But the center dome actually does start about where that is. So, these pieces here can all stay. Some of this is functional, some of this is decorative. Kind of piecing together what I need to get done by Friday, because, oh my goodness, it's already Tuesday. And I think when I started recording this, oh my goodness, it was already Sunday. And every day it keeps getting, oh my goodness, closer to the next day. So, I've just, at a certain point, I just got to come in here and accept that, like, I just got to start throwing blocks down. Like, what is this? I don't know. It's not blocked off, but it needs blocks. So, okay, like, here we go. Here's some servants' quarters. Are they separated by a wall from the servants' entrance and the service office? No. Let's get that wall in. Then, once we get the wall in, let's get that wall up. And we can just start working on this as we go. Time skip. So before we wrap up for today, I wanted to show off a little bit of work I've done on the throne room here. Got our throne facing away from the stairs, just as the designers intended. Our window will be a little bit more circular, also as the designers intended. And my goodness, look, I came back with more stone so we could actually finish this up. Probably not get that done before I say, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills, Nashville, Tennessee. Wow, it is hard to keep track of what I'm supposed to say while I'm doing this. So maybe I will get this done first? It's a mystery. No, I doubt it. Probably out of blocks. Almost out of blocks. Wow, I think somebody just, like, walked into a wall. That was really loud. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.